So I recently just beat Deadly Premonition is one of those games I simply love. It's a heartfelt, exploitive, pretentious mess of brilliance, and I adore it completely. Following wonderfully autistic FBI agent Francis York Morgan on his quest to put a stop to a raincoat-wearing serial killer, we meet a cast of lovable and tragic townsfolk, uncover military and otherworldly conspiracies, and experience janky perfection in this cult gem of a game. The cast of the game is full of quirky, down-their-luck residents of the small Washington town of Greenvale. I loved everyone from film-obsessed and socially awkward York himself to the local law enforcement that he befriends, right down to the rest of the mysterious yet often quite likable townsfolk that you'll question and perform side quests for. At its core, Deadly Premonition is split up into two game types: open world exploration life sim with a heavy focus on story, side quests and minigames, and of course the more action horror based dungeons where you investigate and profile crime scenes. The open world feels lived in, the minigames are all extremely fun, driving is janky and terrible but amusing, and the work they put into the vehicle details is incredible. I love that the town actually had a schedule, and the life sim elements with things like taking care of York's health, hunger, and other things was really fun, and it never got in the way of the rest of the gameplay. You'll basically get money for doing everything, from checking in with your superiors to eating to killing enemies, so that's never a concern, and neither is ammo. Combat is alright, but extremely simple. Just aim, hold the lock-on button, and there you go, and even the boss fights are really quick and easy, which is quite nice since they could have been done extremely poorly in this sort of game. Investigations, thankfully, just require you to find important bits to fill in York's profiling visions, and the only truly less than stellar bits are the overly quick time events and the drawn-out hide and chase sequences. Sadly, the game's performance is pretty much garbage, and if you play for long periods of time, it will crash quite often. But thankfully, outside of that, even with the cheap, crusty visuals, it has extremely high amounts of charm, and I actually did generally love the visual stylings in the game, as it all has an extremely comfy feeling that isn't in many other games. In the audio department, while I love the entirety of the OST, and the voice acting was a very odd and canny if both stilted and bad, combined with genuinely good and engrossing performances. The quality of said audio is just bad a lot of the time, unfortunately, with constant crackles, peaking, and the music and other sounds drowning out the dialogue, unfortunately. With all that said, Deadly Premonition isn't without its faults, but those faults are nothing compared to where it shines. With a well-paced story that is just as memorable as its characters, genuinely interesting twists and turns, schlocky ultra-violence mixed with true emotional connections, and varied addictive gameplay, there's a reason Deadly Premonition is one of my favorites that I highly recommend you go play today. As always, thank you all so much for watching. If you want to help support the channel, please consider sharing the video with a friend or checking out my Patreon linked in the description below. I want to give a big thank you to not only the show's patrons, but also my great friend Orion Knight for making the wonderful punish neat that you'll see in both the thumbnail and occasionally in the videos, like right now. Their social media accounts will be linked in the description as well. If you have any comments, questions, or recommendations, leave them in the comments as I read and reply to everything. Until next time, this is Thierry Williamson signing off until the next video. See you guys!